Before someone lists their home for sale, they might do a Google search such as sell my home, how to sell my home, first to figure out how to do it. Well, apparently that search term is skyrocketing according to Google Trends Analytics. In fact, it appears to be at an all-time high if you go back to 2021 and even if you go back to 2004. We always look at mortgage rates, we look at prices, we look at inventory, but sometimes consumers and consumer behavior gives us clues before official housing data does. Macro Edge posted on X recently a chart, and it showed the sell-related housing searches rising sharply, such as sell my home. Now, their chart went all the way back to April of 2021, and it showed how we are at an all-time high with people searching for sell my home. I looked at the broader Google Trends time horizon, and I was able to go back to 2004, and I searched the same thing. And I see that we're at record levels if you go that far back too. I think that deserves some attention, but there's some important context here. Now, going back to 2004, to be fair, it's not a perfect comparison. We've got a much bigger population right now. We've got way more internet users than we did, more homeowners than we did before. We've got more housing units. So, of course, search volume or anything would be higher now than it was a few decades ago. But even with that context, if you just take it back to 2021, that level of selling interest seems meaningful to me. And I'm going to tell you why. Most homeowners, let's just think about their behavior, right? They're not going to instantly make a phone call. They're going to start on the internet and they're going to do a Google search and, they're probably going to, or ask AI, sell my house. They're going to, how do I sell my house? Sell my home. What is my home worth? Find me a realtor nearby. And that behavior could be an early intent or a signal before potential listings hit the market. So could it be a tell? I like it, right? Because it could be a tell. It could be a forward-looking glass into what we may or may not be seeing in the future with a certain trend in the housing market, one that could indicate more sellers, more inventory. And if searches become listings, right? If they become more inventory, well, inventory could go up. And that's pretty meaningful. Because if inventory rises, well, that's seller competition rising, and that could lead to price cuts. And of course, buyers gaining more leverage in certain markets. So while searches are harmless, they're harmless until they become potential listings. All right, so why could it be alarming? Because, we're fragile right now, right? We talk about it all the time. If we suddenly get flooded with more inventory while rates remain high, well, that could pressure a lot of markets, right? Markets that we've been talking about, like Florida, Texas, even DC. Markets that have been cooling off lately. Certain markets in California, right? So I did the Google Trend search on regions because I thought, well, I wanted to see, what does Google say about how often is this searched for, sell my home? How often is it searched for in different regions? Well, sure enough, you saw Florida come up, Texas, California, right? Arizona, DC. Now, these sell-related searches, they're rising in some of the softest markets. That could be an early warning sign, okay? And you got to pay attention to places like Florida and Texas, right? That continue to soft. If you listen to the Q1 2026 housing report episode, that Cotality put together a report, you saw Fort Myers, Cape Coral, the west coast of Florida, down 6.5%. Austin, Texas, down 5%. So, imagine more listings in these areas. That's not good, right? Now, one other wild card I want to throw at you here. I've been looking a lot at demographics, and it's becoming, I want to say, noticeable more and more that baby boomers, right? They own a very large share of housing inventory. And over the next several years, I would expect, and I think it's already started here, more and more homes hitting the market, creating also more supply due to baby boomers either wanting to downsize, go into assisted living, or you could see some inheritance happening with estate sales and, children choosing to sell rather than keep the home. I think that's certainly a possibility. Now, not to say all of this is going to happen at once, but I could see a multi-year supply trend that happens here in the next several years. Why are searches for sell my home surging? At the same time, we have baby boomers that are reaching that age where, we could see more sales. Okay. So my concern, I'm usually not concerned with these sort of things, but I would say my one concern is if this starts to hit all at once here in the next few years with interest rates still quite high, and you're talking a major oversupply of housing, that could be concerning. Now, I did want to dive deeper into the baby boomer idea and some data there. I probably will do a bonus episode in the subscriber section of the show. If you haven't already, check out realestatemarketminute.supercast.com. The link is in the show description as well. You get a lot of benefits with that subscription. Now, I think what would happen is if that happens, okay, meaning oversupply, then inventory rises and housing weakens, then you start to get some serious interest rate relief. I think housing is a major part of the overall economy, supports many, many jobs from construction to lending, brokerages, insurance, title, furniture and moving. I know for sure, I have, full confidence with the Federal Reserve paying close attention to any major shift in the housing markets. And the one good thing that could come out of this, especially with a new Fed chief that was handpicked by President Trump, that there would be no doubt in my mind that the urge to cut rates would be quick and decisive. So we could see that as a result. And of course, we know that the reason they do that is to bring buyers back, right? To improve demand, improve affordability, and to help absorb all that potential supply that could happen and stabilize prices, right? Because the cure for too much inventory is lower rates, all right? If sell my house searches truly are at record highs, which they really are, let's see if that search traffic turns into listings for tomorrow. And if that happens, while demographic supplies rises too, as I mentioned with the baby boomers, the next few years of housing could look pretty different than the last few, where we do get maybe an oversupply. We haven't seen an oversupplied market in quite some time. If you're an investor and you've been waiting on the sidelines, your opportunity might come if inventory continues to keep climbing. Before we end today's show, stop what you're doing and subscribe right now to Real Estate Market Minute Plus. Listen to all episodes ad-free. Get exclusive bonus episodes and content and help support the show's growth, longevity, and future improvements. Go to realestatemarketminute.supercast.com right now. You can also find the link in this episode's show description. Check it out. I know you'll love it. That is it for me today. Thank you so much for listening to today's show. And as always, if you have questions or need specific advice, ideas, or just some help regarding your particular real estate needs or situation, or if you're just looking to buy or sell real estate in Florida, well then DM me on Instagram at The Salib Group, or just send me an email to mark@thesalibgroup.com. Don't forget to leave a rating for the show, follow, subscribe, help others find the show, and be informed and educated about the real estate market just like you. Until next time.